Okay, what's up guys? So welcome to the Sportsbook video. So we're gonna be going over some of the best places to watch the big game in Las Vegas, mostly on the Strip. And most of them are gonna be sports books because that's usually where people like to come, but there are gonna be plenty of places that you can check out, whether they be restaurants or just hotel bars. Just depends on like your group size, I think is a huge deal, whether you're gonna be coming with a group of like 4 to 6 people or maybe 10 people. If you're gonna be coming by yourself or with a couple, those are different options that you can go through. So I'm gonna be going through all of these. Some of my favorites, some of the ones are places that aren't necessarily what I would like to go watch, but I know that, you know, the wide public would like to go check it out. So I'm gonna be showing you some of these places that I really like, some of the places that are really popular, all throughout this video. So let's do it. Okay guys, so we're here at Circa Sports. So Circa Sportsbook is the largest sportsbook in the world. Also, we have the pool upstairs, which has another gigantic screen. They also have fireworks when they have the Super Bowl, which is really cool. That's probably the best place to go if you want something that is like sort of like the outdoor barbecue vibe. No barbecue though, but they do have drink tickets. You can also you can get like a day bed, you can get a cabana, a bungalow, big giant spaces. And again, you have to check online to see how much they run, but most of the time, those big giant cabanas run for between $2,000 and $3,000, and sometimes you can get a day bed for around $1,500. The cabanas usually fit up to 8 to 10 people. They usually say 6 to 8, and then the day beds usually hold up to 4 people. And it's actually a really great place to go, especially as the lead up into the big game itself. All throughout the day, it's sort of like a party. And then once you come inside, the inside part is gonna be the most expensive part, because as you can see, these screens are massive. They actually put usually 3 screens for all the different sections, and then obviously on the top bits as well because it's so big. And then they also have the overhang, which actually is sort of set apart from it on the second floor, which that's a good place to watch the games if you just want to sort of walk up and stand, because if you get a seat there, it's actually going to be very, very pricey. But you know, once you get into the actual main room, then you start getting into the $1,500 for a chair, you know, usually $300 to $500, usually $500 for one of their stadium style seats, which is off to the edges. And then you also have their booths, of course. So the booths are the ones that are usually pretty pricey. Those are usually going between, you know, $5,000 and $8,000. And then once you get to the back, because they have sort of like these sections that they put up with stanchions, those areas tend to go between, you know, easily between $10,000 and $12,000. But you can fit up to usually, you know, 15 people in there. So it just depends on how much you want to spend. But this is a once in a lifetime thing. You're never gonna ever do it again. This is definitely the place to see it. It's probably the place with the best TV screens. But for me personally, like as somebody who just wants to come, you know, on their own and watch, it's not my favorite, just in general, just because the way I like to watch sports in a sports book, it's not very like democratic on big days like this, just because, you know, you have to pay for it. You can't just walk up and stand around. There's not a lot of stand around spaces. You're basically standing in the slot machines, so I'm not a big fan of that. But in general, this is one of the best sports books in the world. I would say it's probably the #1 place you want to come if it's your first time, but it is honestly one of the better places to watch it. So this is Circa Sportsbook. And this is the Mega Bar located inside of Circa Las Vegas. This bar is huge, as you can see. There's lots of chairs, but they will definitely be packed come Super Bowl Sunday, so you have to get there early, or you can get very comfortable standing and watching the game. Okay guys, so we are about to walk into Westgate. Also, one of the important things to note about this hotel, or the sports book, is that it's one of the better places to get player props, just because it's actually really difficult to bet player props other than places like Circa, Westgate obviously, but the bigger books are kind of the ones you want to go to because they can handle that kind of action. So one of the main reasons to come to Westgate is that's where you get all the really fun props. So fun in Vegas terms. I don't think you can bet on the Gatorade. Still not yet. So we'll go in and check it out and see what you guys are in for.
These booths hold up to 10 people. They're $4,500 for the entire day, and your food and beverage is included in the price. These are the Superbook charging stations, which hold up to 4 people, $2,500 per day, also includes food and beverage for the entire day. And they have lower foretops towards the back, also $2,500 per day. That also includes food and beverage. This is an example of one of their pods, which are not available anymore, but if you look at the brown swiveling chairs, those are actually the chairs that are still available, $300, the ones towards the front.
So it's also important to note that other than just the sports book, they do open like their conference center, historically like a really popular thing to do. And I don't know if they charge to go into the conference center, but it's actually where a lot of colleagues of mine used to go and love to watch the games at, even on Sundays. So they do open that up for the Super Bowl as well. So make sure you check that out if you are going to be watching at the Westgate. Another little tip that I would give you guys is make sure that you if you're going to be betting on the Super Bowl, do not do it the day of. Doing it the day of is the biggest rookie mistake in the world. A lot of people have apps now, so it's not as big a deal, but if you are going to be coming for one day and you don't want to sign up for an app, make sure you do it at least the day before so you're not shut out at the window. Probably the most important thing to know is just do not bet on the Super Bowl on Super Bowl day at the window. So it's a little fun fact, a little tip.
So we actually hopped on the monorail and made our way back towards the Las Vegas Strip. If you're not staying at the Westgate, it's not terrible if you want to jump on the monorail, make your way all the way to Westgate. It's actually a very easy ride, and you actually get to see cool things like this, like their golf course at the Wynn. So now I'm going to take you to the Paris Hotel. You're actually going to go to the front of the hotel, and you're going to find the beer park. The beer park is actually one of my favorite places to watch the World Series, just because it's just perfect at that time of the year. I know that a lot of these tables are actually sold out now, but I was talking to the manager there, and they said that they typically have spaces available at the bar, usually for around $300 minimum for that entire day. So if you're a single person or a couple, this might be a good place to go. They usually have all these places filled up with TVs, which is really, really cool. But if you're not going to watch the Super Bowl here, I just wanted to show you what it looks like, because I think it's actually really awesome. It was great this day. There was like not a cloud in the sky, and these awesome wings. So maybe the day after you just want to have a couple wings, this is a great place to go.
So yeah, to be completely honest with you guys, the Cosmopolitan Sportsbook is probably one of my least favorite sports books on the Strip. Not because it's not nice, and like the bar tops are cool, like especially when there's a few games going on and maybe not a like really busy day. It's great for baseball games, but if you're gonna go there for the Super Bowl, it gets absolutely packed. They actually block off the entire sports book, so you can't walk in, 0 walk-ins. You're only able to actually be there if you have a reservation, and they're they're astronomically high. So unless you're gonna be making a reservation there, which I'm gonna assume is gonna be in the $2,000 to $6,000 range, this isn't the best place to go if you're a single person. I wouldn't recommend going here if you're a couple or a small group. You definitely have to have a larger group to be sitting or going to the Cosmopolitan. And again, it's very low. Like, I don't like places that the TVs are very low. So probably not one of my favorite sports books. I wouldn't recommend it if you are not going to pay to go there. And they don't really have like a huge like dining option. So to me, it's probably one of the ones that is my least favorite options for the big game. All right, guys, so as I make my way back to my car, a couple things. We didn't go to Caesars because Caesars actually isn't a terrible sports book, but for the Super Bowl, it's gonna be astronomically high. I think everything's around $3 grand. And then it's not not a bad place to like stand and actually watch it, but then they're gonna make you clear out. There's gonna be a lot of people just actually sitting there. They have a really nice bar that looks at the actual screens themselves, but not one of my favorites, unless it's like sort of like a random like basketball day. And I'm not gonna go to the Bellagio. I was actually just there a couple days ago, and all the screens are stretched out. It looks absolutely ridiculous. It's in a bad sort of location in terms of geography inside of a casino. So I wouldn't recommend that. And those are kind of the only other like major ones. I'm not gonna go to the Venetian. The Venetian's, bright, brand new, but I don't like the seats. They're very, very small. Again, it's very condensed. It's also a YouTube sports book, which is kind of weird, but not a huge fan of their setup either. So in terms of the big ones, same thing with the Wynn. Like the Wynn itself is a beautiful sports book, but it's very, very small, which isn't conducive for events that are gonna have everything surrounded around it. So kind of my thoughts on it at the moment.
So there's gonna be a lot of places like this at Park MGM, which are just regular standard bars, which are definitely gonna have the game on. As you can see, they have it all on one TV anyways. But this is a great place to go if you're just passing through, or if you stop by and grab a chair, sit down.
Okay, so just saw the Park MGM Sportsbook. It was closed while I was there, but I was able to videotape the inside, so you can actually see all the TVs that are on the inside. So really there's not a bad seat in the house, to be honest, but the really nice thing is they actually have the prices already included, so I'll read them off for you. So the bar top seating is $250 a person, which includes food and sodas, but if you're gonna do the beer, you do have to do their bottomless beer package. They also have their outer ring, which is $750 for 3 seats. They also have their premium view high top booth seating, which is $900, and then they also have their outer ring booth seating, which seats up to 4 people. Then they have their, that's for $1,000. And they have their 10 people booth, which that's $3,000 total. So their premium view, which is the high tops, are $900, and that's for 3 guests. So honestly, this place compared to places like Flankers actually isn't a terrible idea, but just know that you do have to buy the bottomless beer package. I believe it's an extra, let's go ahead and read it, $75 per person if you do the bottomless beer package. So all the stuff is included in your reservation, which includes food and drink, but not beer. So make sure you purchase that when you actually go in. So this place actually isn't a bad option if you're gonna have a group, especially if you want more of a bar and lounge sort of feel, or bar and grill feel. But I really think that Park MGM is probably one of my favorite places in general to watch the Super Bowl, just because there's lots of different bar tops that you can go see it at, a bunch of restaurants. Every single TV will be on the game, so don't worry if you're at a regular bar, they will be showing it, obviously. We are at Park MGM, obviously. So in a second, I'm gonna show you my favorite sneaky bar to watch the Super Bowl. Like, you actually might even see me here, because my dad doesn't like to make reservations. So it's always like last minute trying to figure out which bar to go to, which is funny because I'm doing these like previews of all these sports books. So I'm gonna take you, I'm gonna flip you around. So as we walk this way, I'm gonna take you and show you, this is the High Limit bar. The High Limit in the very back has 2 TVs. So those 2 TVs are the 2 TVs you're gonna be able to watch the game at. And it's actually a little bit more space than you think, but the good thing is it's kind of hidden, so you're able to get back there. Sometimes you're not gonna be able to find a chair, it just happens, but we were able to. There's no minimum, which is nice, and they'll turn the sound on for the game as well. So if you're cool with watching on like just regular sized TVs, it's actually not a bad spot. But if you want a big giant experience, maybe not for you.
So now we hopped on all the way to the Mandalay Bay. This is actually gonna be a great option if you're on the end of Las Vegas Boulevard. I love this sports book. It's old school, not many spots like this anymore, big and airy, lots of places to sit. Some of these you can obviously purchase, but a lot of times they're just open for people to go run in and sit down. If you get here early enough, this is a great place to watch the game. I think it has great energy, and I think it's just overall a nice old school sports book to check out the Super Bowl. So whether you decide to watch it at one of the massive sports books like Circus Sportsbook or the Westgate Superbook, or if you want to watch it at one of the smaller properties like Cosmopolitan or the Bellagio or Caesars or even Park MGM, these places are great wherever you choose to watch the Super Bowl, and no matter where you go, there will be a TV on that channel. So when you come to Vegas, hopefully have a great time. If you see me out in town, come up and say hello, but remember, keep it confidential.